Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. I'm going to read through the full article. Pretty much there's a link in the description. I do need to give you a trigger warning. This is a grim topic. It involves the murder of a 9-month-old baby boy. His name was Lochlan Steffes. Apologies if I have the pronunciation incorrect. A 9-month-old boy killed, beaten at the hands of this scumbag here, Anthony Cirra, 24 years of age, from Wisconsin. He was babysitting 9-month-old Lochlan Steffes. He was the babysitter. We're going to have a look closely at the details in just a moment. If you do appreciate the coverage of this topic, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. As I say, this scumbag is currently behind bars. Currently, I'll come back to that in a moment. 24 years of age, Anthony Cirra from Wisconsin, for allegedly beating an infant to death whilst he was babysitting the child, Lochlan Steffes, 9 months of age. He was taken into custody on Sunday. He's been charged with multiple different crimes, which include 1 count each of first-degree reckless homicide and neglecting a child, with the consequence being death. He is also accused of bail jumping. So I believe what that means, the bail jumping part, I believe that what that means is that he was currently on bail and, perhaps for another crime, and he had failed to adhere to the bail requirements, is my guess. Bail jumping, what does that mean? That he had a court hearing which he failed to attend to? Something like that, I think. I could be wrong. But he's now facing 1 count each of first-degree reckless homicide and neglecting a child. I believe he has a record of bail jumping. So guess what Wisconsin authorities have decided to do? What would you do if you were in charge of the custody of this scumbag? What would you do? He's been accused of murder of a 9-month-old baby. It's possible that he's bail jumped. What would you do? Would you give him the opportunity for bail? Well, guess what these guys have done? Yes, that's what they've done. They've given him a bond at $50,000. Okay, so it is different for the different states, I believe, but it varies, I believe, from 10% to 20% of the bond amount can be paid in order to secure the release of the suspect. So I think that means that if he is in a position to pay, or if he has family members or friends or such that are in a position to pay between $5,000 and $10,000, Wisconsin will happily release this alleged child murderer back on the streets for a mere $5,000 to $10,000. That is gross. That is sick. I don't want to detract from this subject too much, but I'm going to mention another case. Jose Alba, the bodega worker that stabbed an attacker in Manhattan whilst he was at work, and the attacker subsequently died. I don't wish to muddy the water, but just as an example, Jose Alba was initially given a $500,000 bond for what most people view to be an act of self-defense, which the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, seems to view as having been an act of self-defense. Many people feel that Jose Alba should not have been charged, not have been arrested at all, but he was initially given a $500,000 bond. His family were not in a position to pay 10% of that amount to secure his release. Thankfully, he was released after the bond was lowered all the way down to $50,000, which it was initially lowered to $250,000, then $50,000. But what's my point here? My point is, this guy here, an alleged child murderer alleged beat a 9-month-old boy to death can be walking back on the streets of Wisconsin if he should have $5,000 available, should any of his family or friends have $5,000 available to secure his release. That is fucking sick and wrong, Wisconsin. Fuck you. Going to have a look through some of the details in regards to the discovery of and the injuries of Lochlan. Lochlan, on the morning of July the 7th, was brought to the emergency room at Children's Wisconsin Hospital. He was admitted with an array of severe injuries. The baby was reportedly unconscious and not breathing. Authorities described his injuries as life-threatening and highly concerning for child physical abuse. The authorities realized immediately that Lochlan was in a very poor condition, very physically injured, and very likely to be the victim of child physical abuse. The following day, July the 8th, doctors took Lochlan off of life support, and tragically he was pronounced dead. A preliminary evaluation reportedly determined that Lochlan suffered a significant brain injury consistent with sustaining blunt force trauma to the head. Okay, now this next part of the article is a little long-winded and I'm not going to read through it all, but it tells us that essentially, if I understand correctly, Lochlan's parents were living with Anthony Cirra. That Anthony Cirra had been introduced through a mutual friend to the parents, and Anthony Cirra, the alleged murderer, helped both the mother and Lochlan's father get jobs at the place that he worked. So there was a relationship there between the parents and this alleged murderer. If I understand correctly, they were all living together. I may have that part wrong, but that's how it seems to me. And in fact, I think I do have that part wrong. But for one reason or another, I'm thinking the parents didn't have a vehicle. But Anthony was babysitting. He was babysitting young Lochlan. When Lochlan was returned to the parents, the boy's mother reportedly noticed bruises on Lochlan's arm. The mother also noticed that Lochlan's breathing was labored and spaced out. She asked Anthony about the issue, but Anthony said that the mother was overreacting. The mother wanted to take Lochlan to hospital, but the father didn't want to wake up Anthony Cirra to ask for a ride to the hospital. So I am confused as to whether or not they were living in the same premises. I am confused as to why they were so dependent on this Anthony Cirra to be able to take them to the hospital. But seemingly the mother wanted to take him to the hospital. The father didn't want to, only because he didn't want to inconvenience the alleged murderer. On the morning of July the 7th, Anthony Cirra reportedly woke up Lochlan's parents after finding the baby unresponsive with pale skin and blue lips. As the boy's mother performed CPR, Anthony Cirra reportedly said that he made a mistake and that it is his fault. In an interview with detectives, initially Anthony Cirra admitted to bouncing Lochlan on his knee and holding the child above his head, but denied abusing the child. Then, when Anthony Cirra was informed by investigators that Lochlan would likely die from his injuries, Anthony Cirra's story began to change. So, first of all, the babysitter did nothing wrong. All he was doing was playing with the child. Nothing happened. Don't know what the problem is. And then that story gradually unraveled. The babysitter, Anthony Cirra, said that he dropped the car seat, which was holding Lochlan, on the front porch steps. The car seat landed on its side at the bottom of the steps. But seemingly, Lochlan was not injured. He seemed fine. The babysitter's story unraveled further. He said that he placed Lochlan on the floor and his head struck the floor. He also apparently called his girlfriend to tell her that the baby, Lochlan, wouldn't stop crying. That's pretty much all the information that we have at this point. So just in case I forget, the child's parents were also arrested, but there's no charges laid against the parents at this point. So as far as we know, the primary suspect, is the babysitter, Anthoni Cirra, 24 years of age, whose story has changed from this to that. He was babysitting when he returned the baby, 9-month-old Lochlan Steffes, to the parents. He was bruised and his breathing was laboured. He subsequently died the next morning. This scumbag's story changed. First of all, he didn't do anything wrong. No, everything was fine. Don't know what it's all about. And then he's gradually admitted to 2 different situations in which Lochlan was potentially hurt. Both seem to be lies to me. That's my speculation. My speculation, for whatever it's worth, and perhaps I shouldn't even give any, but my speculation is that he beats Lochlan and he's come out with 2 possible excuses, but neither are true. Both are lies. And I just hope that at some point the investigators will get to the truth. And I'm confident that they will. There will be an autopsy. And that autopsy will no doubt provide a lot of evidence in regards to the injuries sustained by Lochlan, as well as details concerning how he actually died. It's going to be blunt force trauma to the head, isn't it? I'm going to wrap things up at this point, guys. I'm not going to say condolences to the parents because seemingly the police have some suspicion that they may be involved to some degree. It does seem very odd, this situation. I do get the feeling that there are a lot of lies going on here. It seems like Anthoni Cirra clearly has been lying, and I don't think he's yet to come out with the truth. And it might well be the case that the parents aren't the innocents that we presume. We don't know for sure at this point. So we're just going to hope that the investigation goes ahead unhindered and that a subsequent trial occurs. I guess it's possible more information will come out over the next few days, over the next few weeks or such. If it does, perhaps this will be a topic that I make an update on. But for now, I'm going to say full condolences to the lost soul of a 9-month-old boy, Lochlan Steffes, who seemingly, potentially, allegedly was killed by his babysitter. So, you know, a lost soul, a soul lost to the world completely needlessly and out of an act of evil. Gonna wrap things up here, guys. Please do like, comment, subscribe.